Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. So guys, as you all know that on our channel, Deloitte NLA preparation series is going on. So yesterday only we made a video regarding the latest networking and cloud questions which were previously asked in Deloitte NLA exam. And in this particular video, we will be discussing two previous year coding questions. Okay, so we are trying to make regular videos on Deloitte NLA preparation. Okay, for preparation. So make sure that you're hitting that like and subscribe button for this channel because every like and subscribe will motivate us for making more such videos. Okay, and continuously till the exam is over we will be making the videos for different sections. Okay, you can also write in the comment section that which for which previous year company or previous year section you want to see a video. We will be happy to make it. Okay, and before moving ahead, make sure to join this telegram group also. This telegram group is dedicated for 2025 batch students. Okay, so all the different discussions regarding different companies are happening in this group. The link of this group are in the description box. Do join it. So guys, now let's start this video. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button. Okay, so guys, first of all, we will be discussing the question, then the approach, and then the code of this question. So you are given an array and you need to choose a contiguous subarray of length k. Then find the minimum value within that subarray and return the maximum of those minimum value. So I know this question is confusing, and guys, believe me, this was previously asked in Deloitte NLA exam only, that happened in November 2024. Okay, so first of all, you need to understand what is a subarray. So if you are given an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so contiguous elements are known as subarray. So 1, 2 is a subarray, 2, 3, 4 is a subarray. Similarly, 3, 4, 5 is also subarray. But if I talk about 1 and 3, this is together they are not subarray, but individually 1 is also a subarray and 3 is also a subarray. But if I will take 1 comma 3, so this is not a subarray of this array. Okay, so the element should be contiguous in nature. Now let's just see what does the question is saying us. So you need to choose a contiguous subarray of length k, then find the minimum value within that subarray and return the maximum of those values. So let's just see the input array first. So it is 3, 1, 4, 6, 2 and 5. Now there is a length k also given. So you need to find all the subarrays with length k. K in this case is 2. Okay, it is in the input. Anything can be given in the input. So you need to find all the subarrays of length 2. So this is 3, 1. This is a subarray. Then 1, 4 is a subarray. Then 4, 6 is a subarray. Then 6, 2 is of length 2. This is a subarray. And then 2, 5 is the subarray. Okay. 3, 1, 1, 4, 4, 6, 6, 2, 2, 5. Okay. These are the 5 subarrays. Now 3, 1, 1, 4, 4, 6, 6, 2. Now you need to find the minimum of all these values. It is minimum of this subarray is 1. Minimum of this subarray is also 1. Minimum of this subarray is 4. Minimum of this subarray is 2. And again minimum of this subarray is 2. Now these are all the minimum values of k length subarrays. Okay, of k length subarrays. Now you need to find the maximum of these values. So 1, 1, 4, 2, 2. What is the maximum? 4 is the maximum. So this is what our output will be, 4. Okay, output is 4. Okay, so let's just see with the help of another example. Okay, let's just see with the help of another example. No issues if still it is not clear. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is the, what you will say, this is an array given, and let's say k value is 3 now. That is, you need to find all the 3 size subarrays. So 3 size subarrays are 1, 2, 3, okay, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4, 5. So these are three length subarrays which are possible inside this array. Now what is the minimum of this value? Minimum of this subarray, it is 1. What is the minimum value of this subarray? It is 2. What is the minimum value of this subarray? It is 3. Now all the minimums you have found. Now out of these 3 values you need to find the maximum value. What is the maximum value? 3. So what is the correct answer of this question? It is 3. So minimum value from those k subarrays, and then out of those all minimum values you need to find the maximum value. Now this is 3. So I hope now the question is clear to you, and approach will be also very simple. What is the approach? What we'll do? We will find all the k length subarrays. We will find all the k length subarrays, and for each subarray we will keep that, okay, what was the minimum value inside this subarray, and then once we have find out all the k length, sub-arrays and we have also found out all the minimum values of those sub-arrays, then out of these values we will simply return 3. We will simply return 3. Okay. So I hope now this particular code and approach is clear to you. Now let's just quickly move towards the coding part of this question. Okay, so guys, if you are finding this video informative till here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for this channel and make sure to join this Telegram group as it is dedicated for 2025 batch students. So now moving towards the code, what we have done, I have written the code already for saving time. So first of all, we are taking length of the array as input, then the k, that is the size of the subarray, as input, then the entire array as input. Now the code is really simple. First of all, we have declared a variable called Maxwell. Now this Maxwell will store the maximum of all minimums. So we have seen here, we have to find the maximum of all the minimum values. So this is the variable that will store that value. We have initialized it with int min because it is the smallest possible value. Okay, and we need to find the maximum. So therefore the comparison will be with int min and the result we will get in the end. Now we will be iterating over our loop. Okay, and we will be iterating from I equal to 0 till I less than n minus k. Why I less than n minus k? Because see, we have we have this array and we have a k size window of 3. So when is the last k size window starting? When is the last k size window starting? It is starting at 3. So this is the index where last k size window is starting. This at this index k size window is not starting, and at this index k size window is not starting. So it is starting at 1, 2 and 3. So this is what n minus k. Okay, n minus k, 5 minus 3, that is 2, and less than equal to 2. Till from 0 to less than equal to 2 we will be running the loop. Now what we are doing, starting from this index, starting from the ith index, we will be finding the k contiguous element. Okay, because we need to find all k size subarrays. So starting from the ith index, we will be finding all the k size subarrays. Okay, and inside that k size subarrays, inside that k size subarray, we will be finding the minimum of that subarray. Okay, so this is the variable current min that will store the minimum of the current subarray of k size starting with ith position. So after this loop is over, we have found out that what is the minimum value of this subarray, that is starting from I till I plus k. Okay, and we will do this operation for every k size array, subarray. And after this k size subarray is over, we will compare that current min with the previous max value. Okay, we have what we have done, we have found out using inner loop, we have found out this, that okay, for this k size subarray we have the minimum value as 1. So we have stored it in current min variable. Now once this 1 we have received after this k size subarray iteration is over, what we will do, we will compare this 1 with the max value. Okay, out of these three values, 1 we will compare with the max value, and in the end, after this loop is over, after this inner loop is over, and after for all the k size subarrays we have done this operation, this Maxwell will contain all the contain the maximum value of all the minimum values of the subarrays. So I hope now it is clear to you. Okay, we have printed Maxwell. Let's just see with the help of example. So 6 is the size of the array, 2 is the size of the window, and 3, 1, 4, 6, 2, 5 is the, you will say it is the array elements. So you can see the output is 4. So we and what was our output in here given? It is 4. So our code is running perfectly fine and it will pass all the test cases that will be given to you. So if you have any doubts still here, you can write in the comment section, or you can go and watch the approach again. The things will become more clear. Okay, you can just link the approach with the code and line by line you can see that this is a pure logical. Okay, everything is logical here. Okay, so I hope now this question is clear to you. So now let's move towards the second question of this video. Okay, so guys, now the question 2 is, Rahul is known for copying in exams from his adjacent students, but he is smart about it. Instead of directly copying the words, he changes the position of the letters while keeping the letters constant. As the examiner, you need to determine if Rahul has copied a certain word from the adjacent student who is giving the same exam. Okay, you should provide Rahul with the appropriate marking based on your findings. So I know the question is a bit long and most of it is not clear. So what we are trying to do, there is a first there are two input given. Okay, first input is that what the adjacent student has written. Second input is what Rahul has copied. Now you have to check whether Rahul the word that Rahul has written and the word that he has copied from the adjacent student are same or not. What Rahul has done, he has twisted some of the alphabets here. So you can see here adjacent student has written hello, okay, but Rahul has, what he has done, he has twisted the letters and he has written EHLO. So if you think while checking that this is the same word, if you think like this, then you will have to print one that yes, Rahul has copied. You can clearly see that it can be easily arranged to hello. Okay, it can easily arrange to hello. So therefore it means he has cheated from adjacent student and you have to print one. But if you think like if adjacent student has written hello and Rahul has written, let's suppose, gello, so this is not the same word, okay, because see the alphabet here G and H are different. So it means that he has not copied from the adjacent student. So here in this case you need to print 0. So this is the entire question. It's really simple, but one thing at one place you will get stuck, that is this. See the constraints given here. The length of the string is 10 to the power 6. Now what most people will do here, what they will do, here it is written hello and then there it is written EHLO. What you will do, you will sort both of these strings, okay. Let's suppose after sorting you get EH, I think OLL, and this also after sorting you will get EHOLL. Now you will see, okay, both of these two words are same, you will simply print that yes, he has cheated. But see here there is a step involved of sorting. The constraints are 10 to the power 6. Once you will sort, you will draw n log n time complexity. Okay, time complexity is also very important, plays a very important role in your exam. So here the time complexity of sorting becomes n log n. That is, your constraint might go till 10 to the power 9 to 10 to the power 10. Okay, but remember every solution should finish under 10 to the power 8 or something. Okay, under 10 to the power 8. So here after sorting, your complexity might go to 10 to the power 9 or 10 to the power 10 because of these constraints n log n. Okay, n is 10 to the power 6. So here you cannot do sorting operation. You will get, in some of the test cases you will get the time limit extended error. But here you can see that if you need to do into 10 to the power 6, you have to follow the O of n approach. Now what is big O of n approach? Let's just see. Okay, let's just see here. So one such word is hello, another word is EHLLO. What you will do, and we know that it is in the input, it is given that all the letters will be in capital. Okay, there will be no small alphabets, it all will be capital. So here we will make a frequency array. Okay, frequency array starting from 0 to 26 because there are 26 alphabets in English language. So here also you will make a frequency array here. Now what you will do, you will mark the frequency here. So the ASCII value of capital A is 65 and capital Z is 90. So from A to Z all the values lie between here, but you have made an array of 0 to 26. So how you will find the ASCII value of H here? So H will be H ASCII value will be H minus A. So it will be anywhere up approx 10. Yeah, it will be 10, or you can say, yeah, it will be 8. ASCII value will be 8. So at 8th index you will place 1, that okay, 1 H we have received. Similarly for E ASCII value is 5, no sorry 4, because A ASCII value will be 0. 65 minus, to find the index of this you will minus ASCII value of 65. So A's index will be 0. So at 0 you will place 1. E at 4 index will place 1. L, so it will be somewhere I think 20. I'm just giving you an example. So for L you will place 2, and for O also you will place 1 here. Similarly you will do inside this frequency array also. And once you have placed you have calculated all the frequency of the elements, okay, for alphabets in each element, then you will get 2 frequency array. Now you just have to compare these 2 frequency arrays, and if at any place the frequency of the index is not same, it means that there is a separate letter. So in that case you have not copied. Otherwise, if both the arrays are frequency arrays are same, it means you have copied. So I hope now this thing is clear to you. Now what is the frequency here? So we are just putting out the iterating over this character array, okay, character array, and we are just putting that frequency inside the frequency array. The complexity here will be O of n. So let's just quickly move towards the solution, and it will be, we have to do our solution in o to the power n only. Okay. So yeah, I hope now the approach is also clear. You just have to make two frequency array in which we will store the frequencies of each of the sample input. So now let's move towards the coding part of this question. Okay, so guys, we are taking two strings as input. Okay, one will be the actual string and another one will be the copied string. So we have taken two strings as input. N and m is the length of those two strings. Now we have made two frequency arrays, as I have told you. So these are two frequency array. So frequency 1 will store the frequency of elements of the first string. The frequency 2 array will store the frequency of the second string. So how we will calculate in the frequency? So this loop will be storing the frequency of the first string. So we'll run the loop from I equal to 0 till I less than str.length, and then and then you can see that we have, this is how we have found the index, that where the current element lies. So let's suppose it is a only. So if str of the first element is a only, so then a minus a will give us 0. So at 0th index the frequency of a will be stored. Similarly, if it will be b, so at b what we are doing, so b minus a will give us 1. Okay, b minus a will give us 1. So frequency of b will be stored at first index. So this is how we are storing the frequency for the first string, and this is how we are storing the frequency for the second string. Okay, and then later on, after these frequencies are done, we will be checking each and every element of this frequency array. So even if at a single place, if the frequency 1 of I and frequency of 2 of I is a mismatch, then it means two words are not copied. So we are running the loop from I equal to 0 till I less than 26, and at every index we'll be checking if the frequency of the first um, string is not equal to the frequency of the second string, then at single occurrence only we will say that okay, these both strings are not same, is same is equal to false, and we are breaking out of the loop. But if this loop never runs, okay, if this loop or if this if condition never runs, it means that the two strings are same, and in the end we are printing out C out is same. So if they will be same, so we are printing out true. If they are false, we will be printing out 0. Let's just run it hello, and again in bottom also e double l o h. So in this case, one should be printed. Okay, one means, sorry, what one means Rahul has copied. So yeah, if I'll say G here, if I will sorry G here, then in this case 0 should be printed, that this is not copied. So again, this was all for the code, and this code will pass all the test cases that will be given to you. So I hope you liked the video, and if you have not hit that like and subscribe button till now, please do it, because regular videos regarding Deloitte hiring will be coming. Okay, and do join the telegram group also. The links you can find in the description box. So thank you for watching this video.